71 Chestnut Street in Providence. Doors open at 9 and the party stays hot until 2 a.m.
You're listening to 990WBOB.com, Renegade Radio.
Welcome back, everybody. This is The Wild Side. This is Dave Clyde, 990 WBOB.com. With us, we have on the phone, we have Timothy McGaffin II. Has a book, Champions Never Quit. I'm looking forward to this. Timothy, this is Dave. You're on.
All right, David. Can you hear me okay?
Absolutely, Timothy. We can hear you great. You want to be called Timothy or Tim or?
Yeah, you can call me Tim.
Absolutely.
David, thanks so much for having me on. I'm honored.
Oh, no problem, Tim. I was looking at some of your stuff online. Motivational, to say the least, in my opinion.
Yeah, thank you. Well, yeah, just like you said, I wrote the book called Champions Never Quit with the subtitle, God is Close by Your Side, because one of the main, well, first of all, the book is about, all those times where we're working really hard, trying to do what's right in our life, and it seems like God isn't there, or he's not helping us, or he's
abandoning us.
Care.
Yeah.
And one of the main experiences I share I share my experiences that I've gone through and other people have gone through where it seemed like God wasn't there, but no matter how hard things get, no matter how many times things don't make sense, as long as you just never give up, you continue to keep going, in the end things will make sense, and you'll see that God was there. Close by your side, even though it seemed like he wasn't there, he really was. And we just have to learn certain things, and this life is a test, and God wants us to know what we're made out of. He knows what we're made out of, but we don't know, so we have to learn it and find out what we're made out of.
Why don't you give us some examples? I believe I was reading your personal on your. I actually have your page. Champions Never Quit. I actually have that on right now. But why don't you give your personal testimony of how it helped you? I mean, obviously, I see a ton of pictures of you in basketballs.
Yeah, thanks, David. So when I was real little, I was trying to decide what I wanted to do when I grew up. What I wanted to be when I grew up, and so I was trying to figure it out. And I didn't know what I wanted to do, so I decided I would pray and ask God to help me find out what my dreams are and what I should do. And so I started praying, asking God to help me, and it didn't seem like my prayers were being answered, but I felt like God was hearing what I was saying, but I didn't recognize any specific answer. So I didn't give up. I kept praying every day, and then one day I did receive the answer, and the answer to my prayer is that I should play basketball. And whatever I was supposed to do, I wanted to be the greatest that there ever was. So if I was supposed to be a fireman, I wanted to be the greatest fireman that there ever was, or a policeman, I wanted to be the greatest there ever was. And so once I got the answer, and it was not my imagination, it wasn't, I wasn't under any delusion. It was a real answer. I knew without a doubt it was God telling me that I should play basketball. So once I got that answer, I made the goal that I'm going to become the greatest basketball player ever. So I started out on this journey, and, I'm like, I know this is going to be really difficult, and to be the greatest basketball player ever, I need to make the NBA, because the NBA, that's where all the best basketball players play. Like, I know it's going to be almost impossible, but if I do what I can do, if I do my best, then God will do the rest that I can't do, and and I'll be able to achieve this dream. So I started working really hard, doing everything I could possibly do within my control, and in seventh grade, I tried out for the team at Lake Ridge Junior High School. I didn't make it. I tried out again the next year in eighth grade at Canyon View. I didn't make it. I tried out again the next year. In ninth grade, I didn't make it. I tried out again at Orem High School. In 10th grade, I didn't make it. I tried out again the next year at Timpanogos High School. In 11th grade, I didn't make it. I tried out again in 12th grade in American Fork High School. I didn't make it. Then I served a mission for the Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints for 2 years in Portugal. I came back. I tried out again at I had to have major knee surgery. My orthopedic surgeon, Dr. Kimball, said I had the worst knees he'd ever seen. So after
just what you want to hear, right?
Yeah, exactly. So everything. So God answered my prayer. He's supposed to be helping me, but it seems like he's not there. No matter what I do, it seems like I'm going completely the opposite way. And so then in college, I tried it again at UVSC, Utah Valley State College. And then I tried it again at University of Utah with Rick Majerus, who was coaching there. And I didn't make it. Then I tried out a third time in college at the University of Utah, and I was one person away from making the team. They could only keep one person that year, and I went. The coaches called me into the office, Eric Jackson, and he told me that I was their number 2 man. So I was one person away from making the team after all those years, from making the college basketball team. And but the coaches, they liked me, and so they let me be the equipment manager. So I was one of the people that was the water boy, getting the towels and things like that. And we had a pregame meal after I didn't make it this last time, so the entire team is there before the game at the hotel. We're eating in the dining room with most of the coaching staff is there, not all the coaching staff. And one of the players sitting next to me is trying to give me a hard time, and he's saying, "You're never going to be one of us. It's too hard. You're never going to be a college basketball player." And he's not just trying to give me a heart-to-heart talk.
He's being mean.
He's trying to make fun of me in front of everybody. And so I waited till he was done talking. And then, and first of all, let me just say, David, and if you have to cut me off, let me know. But I was, this was really devastating to me, and I was only one person away. I was really upset, and so I was confused. I didn't know what's going on, and so I'm getting kind of upset. I'm like, that God doesn't seem like He's helping me, But anyways, so then when this player's done talking, I turn to him and I'm like, "You're right. It is really difficult to be a college basketball player or to play college basketball. It's almost impossible." And I said, as difficult as it is to play basketball in college, it's even more difficult or even more impossible to play basketball in the NBA. To be an NBA basketball player, right?
Yep.
And then I said, but I have done something that is so difficult that not a single person in this room has done what I've done. And everybody's like, "What are you talking about?" And then I just kept going. I'm like, not only has nobody in this room done what I've done, but not a single college basketball player playing in all college basketball has done what I've done. And not only has no one playing in college done what I've done, but not a single player in all of the NBA, not a single NBA basketball player has done what I've done. And not only has not a single basketball player in college or the NBA done what I've done, but not a single college NBA basketball player past or present has done what I've done. So everybody's like, "What are you talking about?" And then I said, no one has tried out to make a basketball team as many times in a row as I have. And still, no one has tried out to make a basketball team as many times in a row as I have, and also failed as many times in a row as I have, but still has not given up. And so I said, "Hey, the only reason you're on this team is because you just happen to grow 7 feet tall. Everything kept working out for you. The door's always been open for you, but the door's always been closed for me. But I keep coming back. I keep trying to reopen that door. And, if you want to have made your high school team one year, would you have come back a second year? Probably. But would you have come back a third year? Probably not. And I know without a doubt you wouldn't have come back a fourth year. And now with me, I've tried out 9 straight times over a 12-year period, and but I still haven't given up. And so I said, I know that the most difficult thing we can do in our lives is to get back up when we get knocked down, or to never quit. And not only is that the most difficult thing we can do in our lives, but it's also the greatest thing we can do in our lives. And I know the only type of person capable of never quitting are champions. And I know a champion is the greatest type of person you can become in your life. And so that just shows right there that it's the effort that matters. It's the effort that God cares about, because that just proves right there, first of all, it doesn't matter what the world sees or thinks of you, what the world thinks is great. All it matters is what God thinks is great. And because coming back all those years, that proves right there that's the most difficult thing you can do, and that's the greatest thing you could do. And also it proves that I couldn't have kept coming back year after year if God wasn't helping me. And because the reason I kept coming back every year is because God answered my prayer that that He was going to help me. And then I knew subconsciously that at this time, that I was the greatest basketball player ever, but I didn't recognize it. I didn't know that I knew, because it wasn't until 5 years later. This was in 2003, 2004 when I had this conversation with this player at the pregame meal. And then it wasn't until 5 years later, until November 2009, I was just thinking again about how I still haven't given up. I still haven't made the NBA yet, because, and I was just thinking and pondering that in my mind. And as I was thinking that, I felt basically God tell me, remember when I answered your prayer, the answer was not to play in the NBA. The answer was to become the greatest basketball player ever. And then I just sat there. I'm like, oh, yeah. The whole time in my flawed human understanding, I was thinking to be the greatest basketball player ever, I need to play in the NBA. So I'm thinking NBA, NBA, NBA. But what I realized is I already achieved my dream before I even achieved my dream, and that I already became the greatest basketball player ever just because I didn't give up, and that's what God cares about. And so everybody can get back up when they get knocked down, and when you do that, you're one of the you're the greatest, and it doesn't matter what the world sees, and that's what God cares about, is that you keep getting back up. That's what matters, and that's the lesson that God wanted me to learn. And and if everything kept going my way year after year, then what would I have learned? Oh, I can keep going when everything's good. Well, that doesn't really teach me. I didn't really learn anything, but now I know I can keep going when everything is falling apart around me. And so there's the main.
There's the main crux of the story. Now, my other question is, how many people have written to you or emailed you saying, you know what, I overcame my own personal disappointments, and maybe I had the key to happiness all the time and didn't even know it? Yeah,
that's awesome, David. Yeah, I have been basically overwhelmed with people sending me messages and just letting me know of similar things that they've gone through, where they know that the hand of God has been in their life, and that's the other thing I wanted, in the book that I was talking about, is what what's going on right now is the war between liberty and slavery. And no matter how hard things get, one way to look at it is, the worse things get, the harder things get, means the more that we're winning, because the enemy, as you know, they know that they're running out of time. They have their little plan for their new world order and everything like that. They know they're running out of time, so they're trying to throw everything they have at us. And so, so it's going to seem like things are getting, darker.
It seems like you're losing. Worse. You're referring to Ron. I know you're a big Ron Paul guy.
That's right.
And I've quite a few of my listeners are. Listen. Some of his domestic policies I think are great. I'm not a big fan on a lot of his foreign policies because I support Israel with heart, mind, and soul. But his kid, I think Rand Paul. I really like the son a lot. And Ron Paul made some great points domestically. And you're right. There's such, and I talk about this all the time, Tim. There's such a war right now on Jesus Christ. I even have a story I'm not even going to relate today. I won't be able to get to it today. And this is by a major media outlet showing the president's little way of just stripping away God. The Gettysburg Address didn't mention God. There is definitely a war going on for your soul.
That's right. It's a real war. That's right. And that's the whole thing is the enemy wants to just try to brainwash us, all this propaganda, bombard us. The enemy wants to make us think, oh, you can't stop us. Well, that's a lie. It's just like Babylon wants to show us that Babylon's so great, but guess what? It's just all an illusion. It's just going to fall like a house of cards. It's not real. What's real is that you don't give up, that you keep going.
It
doesn't matter what the world says. The world says 2 + 2 = 5. It doesn't matter how many times they say it. It doesn't make it true. So all that matters is that you keep doing what you can do. Whatever you feel inspired to do, you do your part,
Tim,
and then God will do the rest, and He will reveal the miracle and reveal the victory in you. And so,
Tim,
it's just like
we're gonna cut to a break. Hang on, because I want to talk a little bit about the spiritual war we're going through now. Hang on the phone.
Perfect.
We have with us the author of Champions Never Quit, Timothy McGaffin II. This is the Wild Side. This is 990 WBOB.
Hi, neighbor.
Hi, neighbor. Have a Gansett.
Narragansett Lager Beer. Always light, but not too light. Has the taste, the famous taste that's straight from the... What?
The famous Narragansett beer. New England's beer since 1890.
Have a Gansett. You'll like it.
Saturday, December 7th, Fett and WBOB present Austin Lucas. Hear new songs from his latest release, Stay Reckless, in the Fett Lounge. And don't miss the opening acts Allison Weiss, PJ Bond, and Valancourt. Tickets are on sale now at FettMusic.com in the Fett box office. Fett, 103 Dyke Street, Providence. Follow Fett on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for up-to-date show info.
I've been down Hey musicians, do you need $100? Is it time for some new gear? Register right here on 990wbob.com. Doing a $99.90 gift certificate to Empire Guitar, offering a huge selection of used and vintage guitars, basses, and amplifiers, as well as a wide variety of boutique and big brand effect pedals and guitar accessories. Gear for everyone from beginners to seasoned players, and all those in between. So click on the Empire Guitar link or join us at the spot in Providence for Mondays on Blast and register in person. 990 WBOB and Empire Guitar want to give you $99.90.
Hi, I'm Mike Gardner, host of The Mike Gardner Show. On my show, we'll feature comment on current news, events, politics, and philosophy. Don't expect the usual take. I'm a Republican who can argue for single-payer health reform, and I can argue that this country failed to do enough to stop the foreclosure crisis. I will challenge your piety, whether it be liberal or conservative, mainstream or fringy, and as a practicing lawyer, I'll bring some of that to the table. My guests will be smart, and I'll ask intelligent questions, because that's my profession. So tune in Saturdays at 11 for The Mike Gardner Show.
990wbob.com.
Welcome back, everybody. This is The Wild Side. This is 990 WBOB. On the phone, Timothy McGaffin II from Champions Never Quit. Tim, you're on.
All right. Thanks, David. And, yeah, going back to what we were talking about.
Yeah, let's jump right into this, Tim. About what we're talking about, I noticed you're on Paul Guy. I noticed about the New World Order, meaning that, in my opinion, there's an agenda. I see the agenda, Tim. Mm-hmm. And let's talk about, because right now, if you mention you're a Christian, look what they did to Chick-fil-A. Look what they're doing to people that are just Christians. Right. They're basically, and Tim, before I let you, go on and talk, because I could talk all night, I have a lot of contacts in Israel, and when they had the Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt, I had the photos of Christians killed with crucifixes shoved down their throats. I had the photos of Christians on a crucifix in the Middle East desert. So there is a war, and it is real. I'll let you take it away now, brother.
Yeah, and Obama, he funded and he supports the Muslim Brotherhood, but Obama's not Christian, Obama's not Muslim, Obama's not anything. Obama's basically a puppet of, our little friend called Satan. So, but anyways, and I was going to say, just look at, as you know in the scriptures, David, it says in the last days there's going to be wolves in sheep's clothing. And the founding fathers,
did you hit a home run on that statement?
Yeah, founding fathers warned us, if tyranny and oppression come to this land, it will come bearing the cross and wrapped in the flag. So all those people pretending that they're Christians when they're really not, they're wolves in sheep's clothing. So, and I wanted to make the point, like Mitt Romney, who was in these debates, he's a wolf in sheep's clothing, and he's up there saying that he's Christian, but at the same time he's saying that he supports NDAA, which is indefinite detention, and he assures us that he's not going to abuse this power. Well, guess who else said that? Every dictator in history also said the same thing, and that's the whole point of the Constitution, is to bind men down so that they can't, that there is no power to abuse. And so, and I was just going to say, too, you got Mitt Romney, who says he's Christian, says he's Mormon, then you got Glenn Beck, you got Harry Reid, and you got Orrin Hatch, a senator in Utah. All these guys say that they're Mormon, but at the same time, they're doing anti-Christian things. You got Orrin Hatch, who helped bring the NSA here to Utah, the Nazis, and he's telling us here in Utah it's a great gift to Utah, but all they're doing is spying on us, just like the Nazis did. So you have all these people pretending that they're Christians, but then when you look at their actions, by their fruits ye shall know them, they're doing anti-Christian things. So once, you understand those principles, then it's easier to see the wolves in their sheep's clothing, and we should be, critically thinking. And when Obama gets up there and he's smiling, and but then listen to his lies. He's like, well, we cut $1.2 trillion from the budget, from the deficit. No, you didn't. You cut $1.2 trillion from the proposed increases. That's not a cut at all. He just said that right there. Not a single journalist raised their hand and says, wait a second, because all those journalists are, they're there in that press conference because they don't have a backbone. They don't have integrity like you and like the other citizen journalists out there that are critical thinkers, and they're not on the mainstream media because they have too much heart, too much soul, trying to go out there and fight for what's right. They're not jellyfish like these other guys who are on the mainstream media.
Tim, you mentioned a very crucial and I think important word. You said critical thinking. Let me just say this. When I was in college, we did so much critical thinking was almost part of every other course I ever took. This guy wants you to be the Lemix. He does not want you to critically think. He wants you to swallow his babble and believe it. And all I can say is look at Obamacare, and he's still blaming the Republicans and the Tea Party. It's amazing, Tim.
Exactly. Everything they do is they say that is the opposite. This is the Affordable Health Care Act, but it's not. It's unaffordable. It's not health care. It's not helping your health. It's making it worse. And so everything they do is exactly the opposite. And anytime they say something is for your safety or for your security, it's not for your safety or security. It's for your slavery. No, the NSA is for your safety. No, it's not. It's for our slavery. Everything they say,
IRS, Tim. He used the IRS as a personal attack dog.
Exactly. If you're going after, you're right. If you believe in Jesus Christ, if you believe in the second coming, if you believe in getting prepared, then you're a terrorist. If you believe in the Bible, you're a terrorist. If you question the government, if you believe in the Constitution, then you're a terrorist. And,
abortion, gun rights, Constitution.
Exactly.
Is this a race war? Because I never seen a guy play the race card, white against black, rich against poor, better than, I don't even want to give him credit. It's pretty pathetic. But him and Soros and Media Matters, they're right out of Joseph Goebbels' Nazi propaganda machine.
Absolutely. They're trying to turn it into a race war, so they're trying to get us to fight against each other, and all we need to do is stop falling for that, and then look beyond that and see what's really going on, and look at the puppet masters pulling the strings. And so they're always trying to turn it into a race war, but in the end, the pit that they're trying to dig for us, that little war they're trying to create for us, they're going to fall into them themselves. So they're trying to get us to fight against each other, but Christ is more, he knows exactly what's going on, and so they think that they're so smart, but they're and in the end, they're gonna fall, and they're gonna fall hard. So yeah, they are trying to create a race war. But my whole thing is, I think, no matter how many times the media tries to make us think, there's all these, that there's a race war going on. There's not. There really isn't. There is on the TV. They're trying to convince us that we hate each other. But I think for anybody out there who's really trying to do their best and trying to follow God, that they're turning the other cheek and trying to forgive each other, and they're not getting involved in that. And it's just it's up to us that, those people that are falling into it to just, keep speaking out, keep being bold, keep being passionate, but at the same time, we got to keep doing our best to be like Christ and, forgive them and help them see, what's going on and not, because lots of times people, when they realize, when they wake up to their blindness, that they've been brainwashed, sometimes it's hard for them to come join the fight, come join Liberty, because they feel like it's hard to do that, and we need to make it easier for them to get back up and to do that.
What could a Christian man do? Or listen, I believe the country was built on the Judeo-Christian Bibles, the First, Second Testament. What could somebody that, for the lack of a better word, just spiritual, believes in say, Jesus Christ, God, what can they do, as you say in your book, what can they do so they never quit? Because they want you to give up your faith. They want you to bite into this. So what are some of the things I was reading on your site? You have a couple steps on victory, if you will.
Absolutely. Well, the first thing is, no matter what you do, if you feel inspired to do it, do it. Because you're being inspired for a reason. So God's inspiring you, and so even if it seems like what you're being inspired to do is small or insignificant, you're being inspired for a reason, and God is going to work a miracle through you. So, and then as you go and whatever it is, no matter if it's putting a sign up in your yard, putting a bumper sticker on your car, when you feel you're talking to someone, you feel inspired to say something to them. You're in church, you feel inspired to make a comment at church, you feel anything like that. Do it. The miracle's going to happen, and then just keep moving, keep going. never give up and keep having fun. And you have to have fun.
That's a big one, Tim. I read that. I have your thing right here. Do your best. Teamwork. Help each other. Do your best. Never give up. Keep positive attitude. Have fun. I always say to the producers, my best shows are always when I have a good time.
That's right. That's right. And just like Ron Paul says, spreading the message of liberty should be fun. If you're not having fun, you're doing something wrong. So whenever you're feeling discouraged or frustrated, find the fun in it. And David, if we're running out of time, let me know. I just wanted to read this quote here by
we have 2 minutes left, Tim. We got 2 minutes left. Yep.
Okay. Well, first thing I just want to say, you can find me on championsneverquit.com. That's my website, championsneverquit.com. And I encourage people to contact me, send me a message. I'd love to hear from you. And you can also find my book there, Champions Never Quit, God is Close by Your Side. And I wanted to read this quote by Dan Bidondi, who is one of the reporters at Infowars.com. And it reminds me a lot of you, David. And you got the same, passion in your heart. And Dan said, I am just flesh and blood. I am just one man, but the spirit that drives in me is unstoppable. The willingness to never give up and fight for what is right. The intestinal fortitude that never says quit, but bring it. The attitude that says I will die first before I submit. A man that would rather die on his feet than live on his knees. The heart, the soul, the spirit that God has embraced upon me, the spirit of 1776. I have sworn before the altar of God that I will be a thorn in the side of the New World Order until my last dying breath. Victory is close. Even if I am dead, the fire that I spread in the hearts of millions you can never extinguish. Most of all, God will have the last stand and triumph. So my brethren, be brave, courageous, and bold. Never back down and fight to your last breath for what is right. The enemy can never defeat truth, and know that one day the enemy will be at the mercy of the Almighty Heavenly Father. Dan Bidondi.
Let me tell you something, Tim, about Dan Bidondi. I had him on my show. I'm more handsome than Dan Bidondi. Let me start off with that comment right off the bat. You know what I'm talking about. I don't look like Uncle Fester. But Dan has been a friend of the show. We go back to WALE days. We really do. We really do. So I appreciate that. And you told everybody how they could reach you. Tim, I appreciate the message. Especially now, especially with the holidays. I thank you so much for coming on, and I appreciate all you do. And everybody, this is Timothy McGaffin II, Champions Never Quit. Tim, God bless. Have a great Thanksgiving and a great Christmas season.
You too, David. Merry Christmas, Happy Thanksgiving. Champions Never Quit.
Thank you, everybody. Timothy McGaffin II, Champions Never Quit. We appreciate it. This is the Wild Side, 990. I'm better looking than Bidondi on any day.com.
Yacht Club Bottling Works is a family-owned and operated local manufacturer. The facility opened in 1915 with the goal of bringing a premium quality beverage to Rhode Island. A lot has changed over the last 98 years, but Yacht Club is still dedicated to providing premium beverages to Rhode Island and surrounding areas. We still use a sodium-free carbonation process and pure cane sugar as the sweetener. Our flavor syrups are made on site, so we can truly guarantee the fresh quality of our products to your doorstep. Yacht Club is growing to a century of keeping this recipe alive and local. Yacht Club's full product line is available at select vendors regionally or by direct, 401-231-9290, or visit online at yachtclubsoda.com.
WBOB and FET are pleased to announce Independence Day in December. Join us between the ribs and the wieners. FET 103 Dyke Street in Providence. Enjoy music on Grand Vernon and Cactus Attack in the FET Lounge. Celebrate December 4th with free stuff from BOB, plus the sounds of Rich Berry and the Wealth on the Water and Tapestries. Stay tuned to 990 WBOB for details and check out FetMusic.com for more show info. Sponsored by Narragansett Beer, Multiverse Comics, and Get Punched Attitude Clothing.
Get punched, get punched.
Clothing with attitude.
Get punched, get punched.
GetPunchedStore.com. Men's and women's shirts, hats, hoodies, and much more.
Get punched, get punched.
GetPunchedStore.com. Clothing and custom apparel. 401-257-5234. Join us on Facebook at facebook.com/GetPunchedStore.
Get punched, get punched.
GetPunchedStore.com. Clothing with attitude.
This is Batman.
And this is Superman.
And Aquaman. And we're the Justice League.
And when we're not out fighting crime, we're reading 13 Folds magazine.
It's the definitive magazine on the cannabis culture.
They take all of today's relevant topics and they make them entertaining to read. Even my fish friends love it.
So go pick one up at your local entertainment venue.
Or visit 13folds.com and read the digital version online.
You're going to love it.
Up, up, and away!
990WBOB.com.
Welcome back to the Wild Side. This is 990WBOB.com. I'm David Clyde, and I do not look like Bidondi in any way, shape, or form. Oh, my God. That was our guest on Timothy McGaffin. Very good, very good. There's an old song by I Won't Back Down. Who sings that song? I forgot his name. I Won't Back Down. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. And, you know, one of the messages that Tim had, and it's true, just don't give up, don't back down. There is an agenda going on. I'm going to talk about it on my Friday show. It's a great article. It's showing how they're taking words out of context. It's showing how they're just taking phrases. They're making you feel guilty for believing in your family in Christ. They want you to believe in the government. This is true. The Gettysburg Address, Obama didn't even mention, you know, he took God out of it. I have I'll show you how screwed up this is. I have a story here. I was going to talk about the filibustering, which is really quite sick. In Portland, and this is part of the indoctrination that we talk about on my show. Portland, an effort to combat perceived discrimination. One Portland school seems to have gone off the deep end. They suggest peanut butter and jelly sandwich is a racist connotation. Let me say this again in wild side terms. These sons of bitches in Portland believe peanut butter and jelly sandwiches have a racial connotation. According to the Portland Tribune, the principal at Harvey Scout K-8 school picks up the subtle language of racism on a daily basis. Take a peanut butter jelly sandwich. It's seemingly innocent. Example, a teacher uses a lesson last year in the school. What about in Somalia or Hispanic students who might not eat the sandwich? Guterres said, Gutierrez, told me he doesn't have a freaking bias, that son's a bitch. Another way would be to say Americans eat peanut butter and jelly. Do you have anything like that? Let me tell you, maybe they eat a tortilla or a pita. I don't even know what to say on this story. So you have a couple people, teachers, who come from other countries, and they say, oh, peanut butter and jelly, because you have it, might be considered racism because back in Guatemala, they're eating pita pockets or they're eating tortillas. Or back in the freaking jungles of Djibouti, they're eating pita bread. This is out of control. This is indoctrination. Number one, you stupid bastards in the school administration. How you got there, I'll never know, but you're following Obama and basically kissing his freaking ass, selling out our country that I love and that this station loves and that pal loves, even though he won't admit to me. Now a peanut butter jelly sandwich is racist? How about this? Kiss my fat Jewish ass. How is that for being racist? Is that racist, pal? Pal says that's not racist. This is the United States of America. We have peanut butter jelly sandwiches. If you want to go eat your freaking walnuts on a piece of pita bread, go back to freaking Djibouti or wherever the hell you come from. The reason this country was made great is you assimilated into the freaking culture. Are you kidding me? A peanut butter jelly sandwich is racist because maybe a kid living in Brazil doesn't eat that. I get that. I understand that. How is that racist? If I was in Brazil, I'd be eating what he's eating. Is that racist that they don't have peanut butter and jelly in Brazil? What do you think would happen if you were like in the middle of Russia and they're eating, I don't know what they're sardines and vodka for lunch? and you said, I want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, you're racist. And Russia, they'll slap you. They'll slap you. What do you think they do in Korea? They'll probably shoot you. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You know what? They're passing laws for our educators. They're passing laws for homeschooling. You really want your kids with these kinds of ass wipes teaching them. You know what? I'm proud of America. Peanut butter jelly, apple pie is racist. Apple freaking pie is red, white, and blue, baby. I don't apologize for this country. I don't apologize for the United States of America. I don't know if that's racist, then you know what? Grow a pair of balls and grow some thick skin. If that is racist, when I grew up, they had freaking hoods on their head. That was racist. They had SWAT stickers on their arms when I grew up. That was racist. So what am I going to do? Oh, I want sauerbraten and a brat. Oh, you can't eat that. That's racist. You want pizza. Can't have pizza, pal. That's racist. That's a tie. Really? You know what? If little whoever wants to go, if little Juan wants to have his freaking, sandwich with grasshoppers and nutter butter, to go back to Brazil in the tropical rainforest. It's America. You have to assimilate to our culture. This country was built on Jewish Christian values, the First and Second Testament. Unbelievable. I'm not going to give up my God or my culture because you perceive it racist. I perceive you as an ass idiot. I perceive you as an asshole. Really. Just a coward. And you're selling out the country. These educators are out of their minds. That story just went up my ass too so much. And then I want to read about this. This is very dangerous. Barack Hussein Obama, who should be held on treason to this country, basically passed what they call, I believe they passed, they call it like a nuclear, he passed a filibuster thing where before you needed 60% of the votes to elect certain officials. Now you only need 51. This country is going to change forever as you know it. What he did was supersede basically the Senate. So instead of needing a good majority rule on things like judges and people that are very controversial, all you need is 51%. This is Obama getting back. Secret Service guys that are assigned to Obama says this man is sick. This man has enemy list. This is still the United States of America. And like I say to my liberal friends is wait till there's a hard-nosed conservative. Wait and see what he's going to do. Because according to this, we could overthrow abortion and Obamacare and all the gun control in New York minute. So wait till the guillotine is on the other end of the pendulum here. Wait till you see what's going to happen with this bull crap. Well, I got 1 minute left. Listen, happy Hanukkah. Have a great Thanksgiving. We have Hanukkah coming up. We have Thanksgiving coming up. Love your families, because in the end, all you have is God, family, and country. Have a great Hanukkah and have a great Thanksgiving. Love you guys. This is The Wild Side, 990. WBOB, I'm out.
The preceding program contained views, opinions, and thoughts that do not necessarily represent those